I'm happy with that today. I'll close it out. You open it up.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Donnie Mac. That's Marshentime. This is 863 Sports Buzz. Right here live on Thursday night. We missed you on New Year's. We're back here to give you all the updates from the last bowl games last week, what we think, what we see perceiving in the championship game, and moving forward. All the hot action this weekend, man. Marshentime, we're coming down to the wire in the NFL. The NBA starting to
Of
heat up.
course,
A
man.
few
Big games.
to shape up. This is
Yeah.
looking pretty good at this time of year. A couple of big trades in baseball, also a couple of big trades in
Yeah. Yeah.
baseball, and of course, we got the national championship game coming up.
Are you talking about the national championship game? You got
We're talking
listen,
about the
listen.
national
The
championship
national
game.
championship game, and guess what? Conference is not in the national championship.
The SCC.
Oh yeah, that conference, the one that had to be in there, is not in. I'm sorry, you didn't deserve to be there, Alabama. Get the hell out.
Other than that, the both games that I saw in that playoff, they were. We
They were
saw an
good games. They were
overtime
good
game.
games.
We saw Michael Penix Jr. and Texas's Edwin Evers. We watched them just go head to head and do exactly what we thought was coming.
Very true. Yeah, I mean we kind of planned it. I mean, I thought Texas was going to pull it out at the end, but
You thought Texas, but I also thought Alabama was going to pull it out. You got
you
the
did, you
Michigan,
did.
I got the Washington. But as I said, when all the took place back in week 10, I was the bandwagon, and here they are, boy. They come
I
through
mean, to be
even
fair
when
though,
they're
you were on Florida State's bandwagon, sir.
well,
You were
yeah,
riding
you're
Jordan
right.
Travis. You were ready for Florida State to go in, and I mean, I wish they would
Hey,
have
you're
got in.
right. You're
It's
right. I
still,
take that back. I take that back because, and you are 100% after they chose that, and I was like, you know what, Washington is my team because I've been on Washington's bandwagon all season,
Yeah,
also,
you've been on Penix's bandwagon. I'll give you that.
Penix, I've been on his bandwagon, and he should have rightfully gotten a Heisman Trophy, in my opinion. But that's why I'm not voting. So I guess that's just the way it goes.
Hey,
Other
you're
than
an old
that,
guy, so
both of those playoff games were awesome. Next year, I can't wait to get to it. I'm taking Washington in the championship game. I'm taking them head up on a parlay, and I'm dumping some money on it. That's how much I believe in
oh, he's
and
going
what
in,
he's had
man.
going on. He
I
was
like it. I
underrated
like it.
against Bo Nix. He was underrated against everybody so many times, and every time he came through. This guy is just phenomenal, and I believe.
Listen, man, you're still giving him. You're not giving Michigan enough credit. I'm
I do
sorry,
not.
you're not,
I'm
man.
not.
Their
But nobody's
defense
given
shut down Alabama's
Washington.
offense. Let's be honest. Michigan's defense shut
Alabama
down
doesn't
Alabama's
have an
offense.
off Washington
They
offense.
put
Let's
up
not get
enough
that
points to beat
twisted.
Georgia, the two-time national champion.
Alabama doesn't have a Texas offense.
Oh, and Texas still put up 31 points on Washington.
No, they're going to score. What I mean, that's Michigan's best chance
Listen,
is try and outscore them.
Mich-
That's their
no,
best
no, no.
chance.
See, this is the thing, man.
They're not going to
Michigan's
stop
no.
them.
Hey, shut up and let me talk. Jesus,
They're not going
this
to
guy.
stop them.
Shut up. All right, Michigan's number one big win is always the run game. How do you keep high potent offenses from scoring? You run the ball. You kill the clock. Guess what Michigan is great at, buddy? Running the ball, killing the clock. That is what's going to win this game. They're going to win this game by running the ball with Blake Corum at the lead, man. He's going to win. They're going to win this game.
Are you done? How many teams in the Big 12 and the Pac 12 has tried that against Washington? No, thank you.
Nobody.
Washington stacks the box. Hey, Washington stacked the box and made every one of them air it out. Michigan's going to learn how to pass the ball, and they better do it fast. It's not going to work because you can't outpass Michael Penix Jr. This game is over. Washington's going to blow them out by 10 points.
What team have they had 8 people in the box against? Every team they played has been a passing
every
team,
one of
sir.
them. Every one of them. They tried to spread it. They tried to spread it and run it. Same thing you did. Utah tried the same thing against them. Oregon tried the same thing against them. They could not do it. They had to try and use Bo Nix. Utah tried to pass the ball. It just didn't
got
work.
all these players. Hang on. You named all these teams. Name one of those teams where you know the running back.
Well, they all got 3 and 4 of them.
Exactly.
Just
no,
like Ohio State.
Michigan
just like
has
Ohio
one
State.
player.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't. No, you just
Who is
stop.
going to be a top 10
That's
draft
even
pick.
better. You
Blake
don't have more
Corum is a
packages.
great.
You don't have the
Man,
packages
get
that
outta here.
spread
Get
offense
outta
does.
here.
So good
Listen,
luck
man.
on that one. So we'll move on. I'm taking Washington. I'm taking them all day
taking
against
Michigan,
anybody.
man.
If you got the money, bring it, honey, because I'll take it.
I'm taking
Okay,
Michigan,
that's all I
man.
got to say.
Man,
That's
all
all I
right.
got to
It's
say.
all good.
That's all I got to say.
Michigan's
You
taking
bring
down
that
game.
noise.
But we're
Bring
gonna
that
be,
noise.
Listen, we're going to talk about this a lot on Monday, so we won't take on it too much because Monday night, is when it's going to happen. Let's be honest.
We got a long night on Monday night.
Monday night,
yes,
we're gonna go out. We're gonna hash this out. We're gonna see. We're gonna give out. We'll have all of our facts straight. We'll have all the stats. We'll have everything in front of us, and we're gonna see who you guys think is gonna win this
girl
game.
Wolverines get beat around by the Washington Huskies.
Listen.
That's
the
what you're
Washington
going to see.
defense Huskies are going to play, against
Listen,
the Michigan
one
Wolverines.
thing I know, they couldn't steal nobody's signs and signals this time. They can't do it because they're under the spotlight, okay? That's all I got to say about that.
Listen, man, you cannot tell me that Jim Harbaugh did not just outcoach Nick Saban 10 times over in that game.
I don't care what he just did in that game. Alabama should have never been there. That should have been FSU, not Alabama.
I'm not saying I agree with you on that point. I would have even agreed.
Okay, so I don't care what he just did with. You know what? No, Georgia didn't belong in there. Just like Texas beating Alabama, they didn't belong. Man. I think more so than Alabama, Georgia should have been there. Yes, I do think more so than Alabama, Georgia should have been there. But Alabama was not that good of a team. They should have lost to Auburn. If not for a coaching blunder from Auburn. So Alabama should never even been in that top.
Washington should have lost to Washington State.
No, they shouldn't have. They bombed it out and won the damn game. Referees had nothing to do with any of that. None of that.
Listen, let's not go that far. Referees seem to have their hand in everything. And why, since you brought that up, we have to talk about something. The officiating crew
let's talk
finally got punished. And I am so happy.
In a big way, too.
Huge. They took him out of the playoffs.
And it's set. Well, yeah, that's huge. That's absolutely 100% huge because they've blown a couple of big playoff games this year. Games that were playoff implementing games and had
very suspicious games too.
Yeah, they were highly touted games and they blew them. Absolutely
100%.
Could. And you know what? We need to see more of this, more discipline.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, man.
That's going on.
As soon as you said referees, we got to bring it up. We got to give them some
because the NBA is doing it too. Just like the Joker getting tossed out of the games. Just where's the text? There's no text anymore. There's not one text, two text. Get out of here. All he did was said a word to you. It's not like he swung on you. Look what Draymond Green's doing over here. He's getting away with it.
You're going to make bad calls. You're going to make bad calls. You better be able to take a bad word or two. Shut up and be a big boy.
So what they're advertising is take it out on the players and don't say nothing to the referees. Go ahead and swing on another guy, stomp on their chest, do all this. You know what I mean? We'll take even more easy on you. You know what I mean? So this thing's got to get under wrap. And the same thing in college. We watched it in a couple of televised games in this year. Even the Miami Hurricanes game against Georgia Tech, we watched that. Kudos to the NFL. That's all I got to say. Kudos to them by getting them out of the playoffs because, good God, we don't want to see that crap in the playoffs. I agree,
man. I'm so glad they're finally doing it. The refs are really, because you're getting paid for it. This is your job. Yeah. It's your job.
Yeah.
It's not like you're a little league umpire who's doing this for volunteer time. And I respect those guys completely. Because they're doing it out of their own time. They're not getting paid for it. You're a professional. You're getting paid for it. You better make the right calls. And I understand making one or two mistakes a game, but they're making 10 or 12 huge mistakes to cause games to lose. You can't be doing that, man.
Yeah, you're only human. It's okay to make mistakes. We can see if it's blatant. But that Detroit Lions game.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Listen, it messed up my 5-game parlay. I'm still pissed about that.
I'm sorry, Marshentime, but that's just, I'm glad they drew the line right there. I'm glad they drew the line right there and they had to do something because they were the same officiating crew that did the Miami Dolphins
dirty,
game. They did a couple of playoff games last year or
Mhm.
in the year before, and they've got a track record of doing it. And I can't name them right off the head, but I was reading the articles about it, and I
Me
was like,
too.
"Oh my
Me
god,
too.
I didn't know they had a hand in all those games." And I was like, "Oh my god, this is the same crew," and they took them out of the playoffs.
And
That
I
is
just want to
huge.
point out that head ref was from Philadelphia.
Yes, he was. Yes, he
That's
was.
just
Yes, he
that.
was.
Else is a little bit sauce,
Yes,
man.
he
I'm just
was.
being honest.
Yes, he
Because they
was.
picked
And
up quite a few flags against Philadelphia that game.
they've been getting a lot of publicity since that game, so they're under the spotlight, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them suspension or demotions.
I'm telling you, man, they need to do something. Like I said, I don't mind if you're going out there and volunteering your time. If you're getting paid for it, you better be good at your job. You're supposed to be the best of the best. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you're 100%. I guess that is kind of like a demotion anyway, saying, "Hey, you can't go to the playoffs, guys. You're done. No more." Okay, I guess that is kind of a demotion. Yeah,
Kind of, but still, they need to be punished more often.
they
I'm
do,
glad they
and
did it
just like the
finally, but
referee. I forget his name, but he had a huge beef going on with Chris Paul in the NBA. Everybody knew
yeah,
about
I
that.
remember that.
Everybody knows about that
Yeah.
beef, and this guy's all over the NBA. He's in the playoffs too, but people like that, they need to be taken care of and put in their place, because they have mics around them that hear them, and they have him recorded saying stuff. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
It's like it's kind of obvious. You got to do something. David Stern's got to do something about crap like that, especially with that guy and Chris Paul, because it's
Yeah.
going on this year.
Step up, make the calls. Figure it out. Quit just jumping
Be
around these things.
professionals.
Yeah, be
Be
professional.
professionals.
Exactly. I agree with that. I respect it. You know.
Yep.
So while we're talking about referees, we talked about the Detroit game. At least they're still clinched. They're in the division. They're in the playoffs. Why we're here, we got to talk about some playoff games, man. There's some huge games going on this weekend
There
that are
is.
going to be coming in. Like some big things. I want you to give me your last three in the AFC. Who's coming in? Who's getting in?
I was just actually reading. I was just actually reading about this, and
It's kind of
man,
crazy, man.
obviously, I think the Browns are going to get it.
Yeah, well, I think they're already
I
clinched. I think they clinched, didn't they?
I think they did
I think
last
they
week.
clinched.
Yeah, they have already clinched, but the Steelers could actually lose this
Steelers
week,
could, yeah, and could still make it in. I think, right?
and still it can still make it. It's a very, very, very weird scenario, but man, it's hard right now because the quarterback scenario is. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
If Pickett comes back for Pittsburgh, I like Pittsburgh to slide in there and lose in the first round. If Trevor Lawrence even has a shot at coming back, I'd take Jacksonville. So it's kind
That's still
of
the division, man. That division is up
yeah.
for grabs.
In Indiana or the Indianapolis Colts, they're still in there. Houston's still in there.
Yeah.
The whole CJ Stroud question deal. A lot is still in the air right now. In Indiana, they really look like the healthiest football team in that division, if you ask me. They honestly do. Um, Besides Tennessee, and I can't really say they're healthy because they lost
Because
their starting
they're
quarterback.
5-15, so
They're
they're
5
not
and
even in the
15.
or the 5-11. They're not even in the question.
At the playoffs. So I like the Indianapolis Colts to actually slide in there.
The
And if
Indianapolis Colts will
Lawrence,
take the division, huh? Okay.
yep, I like them to slide in there, take division, and I like Houston to follow them up and draw a
Make it
wild card.
okay. Okay. Well,
That's
those
what
two play
Trevor.
each other this week.
Yes, I do. And
Okay.
I was going to tell you. I was going to
Don't
tell
give us our
you.
picks yet. Don't give me your picks now.
I was going to tell you. It's a big question to CJ Stroud. That's a huge question, man.
Sure.
And I think he's got a shot to play this week. I don't know
He
where
played
they've
last
ruled
week.
that right now. Did he play last week?
Yeah, he played last week.
Okay, I've been wrapped up in basketball for about a week.
We know. He likes his basketball guys.
I've been jumbled in here. And I take that back. But
Point taken
Taylor
away.
played last week. Yeah. Jonathan Taylor played last week. Zach Moss still got a shoulder or a knee injury, something he's got going on there. So that's the biggest deal for me. They did get their wide receiver back again off of his concussion or shoulder protocol. Michael Pittman came back. That's a big deal for them. Houston's still got a really, really solid defense. If they could shut down the run game, which they have been doing all year, I just believe in C.J. Stroud and a little bit of Stroud magic to air it out and go over 300 yards and at least 3 touchdowns in this game.
Okay. Hey, while we're talking this though, give me your upset of the week. If you want
Upset of the
somebody to go
week.
bet, somebody to go bet on, somebody you looking at some games and you're like, hey, you should go bet on this game. The spread's this way, like I did against the Giants and Philadelphia Eagles. Give me something, man.
Oh man, I don't have nothing for you at this point for the NFL. I
Man,
really don't. I
killing
really
me. Give
don't.
me
I
one. Give
don't.
me a good NBA one. Tell me
Well,
somebody they want to go bet something, man. Tell me something.
it
Give me a
well,
beat
there's
today.
only 2 games tonight. There's only
There
two
is.
games tonight, and if I went with one, I would go with the Warriors with the points.
Warriors with
San
the
Antonio.
points.
San Antonio
Okay.
is getting
Okay.
about 10 or 11 points right now, but Milwaukee, even their bench can outstore San Antonio's starting 5. And San Antonio's starting 5 is banged out. There's no Zach Collins. There's no,
Yeah.
I think
Brandon's
Vassell
not
is
playing, I don't
playing.
think.
Brandon's not playing. There's a lot of injuries right now through their starting lineup. So Milwaukee should easily run them over and cover that spread. So if you like Milwaukee, I would take them. But they could get lackadaisical and let San Antonio score a little bit. That's why I'm afraid of that one. Golden State, on the other hand, they're starting to click. Steph Curry in the last 3 or 4 games has been
Klay Thompson's been
absolutely,
doing pretty well too.
and that's where I'm going to get at. Not only on the offensive line, that's where my big deal is. He has been outstanding on the defensive line. Kamunga and Wiggins pitching in there on the defensive line right now. They played solid defense. That last game from Klay Thompson on the defensive end of the floor, he was the MVP. That was an awesome game. Steph Curry steps up and shoots 30 points a game. They're winning over 75% of their games. If he's not scoring 30 points, they're not winning. They're like 5-15 without him shooting over 29 or 30 points a game. So I'm really taking Golden State at home. I know it's Denver and the Joker coming in, but there's only so much they can do when that team is playing defense like that at home. I'm taking those points with Steph Curry being on fire like he is right now.
Okay. I like it. I like it. So that's her bet. So I just had to throw that at you. I had to give you a tough question.
But
Now, there's
even
another
more
thing.
important, hold on. Let me before I go. That's
Okay.
not my number one bet. I think
Okay.
their over under on that game is over under 228 on points. Those teams are going to score way more than that. They're going to score about 230 or 245. So if it's like 228, 230 right there, I'd go over on that with those 2 teams right there too.
Okay. So you're good now. You got all your stuff on.
Yeah,
You good?
yeah. I just wanted to
All
pitch
right.
that in there.
All right. I understand.
So what are you going
So
with?
I'm
You
looking at
even
stuff.
looked at that slate? What are
I'm
you
looking.
looking at?
I'm looking at some stuff here. Well, the football ones I was looking at. I'm gonna go with this game right here. Chicago Bears and Green Bay. If
Green Bay, huh?
Chicago's getting any more than 3 points, Chicago wins that game.
Yeah. You
Just
like
saying,
that,
man.
huh?
I like it.
If I had to go with one, and if Baltimore wanted to rest their players this week, this would be the week to do it against Pittsburgh. If they did want to rest anybody, they would start resting them now. If Pittsburgh's getting any kind of points, like 9 or 10 points, something like that, I would take it.
Okay. Hey, I respect it.
If,
Listen, why
if,
we're
only if Pickett's coming back too, by the way.
okay. I like it. Well, Baltimore's probably not going to start their players.
That's
Let's be
what I was
honest.
thinking.
So now there's a huge thing though we got to talk about, and in the NFL, we're going to go straight in the NFL. Straight
Yep.
in, we're going to jump right in. The Pro Bowl rosters were released, man.
I didn't even look at them.
Pro Bowl roster. Who do you think the starting quarterback for the AFC and NFC was, since you haven't even looked at it? I want to hear your on where you would have voted.
Well, AFC starting quarterback, I would have had to take Lamar Jackson.
He is not the starter. Just so you know.
Would it have put Patrick Mahomes there?
He is not the starter either. He is the third.
AFC. Who the heck could have been better than them? Oh, Tua.
They put Tua as number 1. He is your
Okay.
starting quarterback for the AFC.
I'm okay with
Tua
that.
is the starting quarterback. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I got to put Lamar Jackson in that spot. Lamar Jackson's just been so
Lamar, Tua. That's our fantasy lineup right there. Lamar and
good.
Tua.
It actually,
So, I mean, that tells you how well we did in our draft. So, I mean, if that's now NFC, who's the starting quarterback? Brock Purdy for starting quarterback for the NFC.
You nailed it. Brock Purdy is number 1, bud.
Yeah. Number 2, I'd have to say they went Jared Goff with that one.
Jared Goff is not on there.
No, Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford is number 3.
Did they throw a Baker Mayfield in there?
They didn't know.
I hope not. Oh yeah, Jalen Hurts. We forgot about him.
Incorrect.
Did they put him in there?
But it is in that division.
Oh no, not Dak Prescott.
They put Dak Prescott in as number 2.
I guess that's deserving at this point in the season. He's done pretty well.
You know, I mean, we'll agree to disagree on that one.
I don't know. I'm just glad he's not first. Brock Purdy's deserving of that number one.
Brock Purdy's number 1. And of course, we all know who the starting running back for the NFC is. There's not even a question for that.
Yeah.
CMC.
So who would it be for the AFC?
Yeah, this one surprised me. I'm going to be honest.
AFC running back.
Yeah, running back. Da-da-da-da.
I don't even have a guess. Nobody shines to me in the AFC.
Come on, give me something, man.
You want something?
Gotta give me something.
Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler is not even on the list, sir.
I would hope not. He was injured for a game or so.
He was more than for a couple games.
Brandon Jacobs missed a few games.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know if you're going to guess any of these.
Well, I'm going to go with Cooks from Buffalo. How about him?
Actually, he is number 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cooks from Buffalo. You got me going now.
I'm pretty shocked on that one, man.
Number 1 or 2, is it Raheem Mostert?
Number 1, Raheem Mostert is the starter.
Yeah, okay. Raheem Mostert, that's deserving. You know, he got outshined a little bit by his partner there because HN, he kind of did his deal over there for a couple weeks.
He's tied for the amount of touchdowns. The same as Christian McCaffrey. That's kind of crazy right there. That just tells you all you need to know right there.
Yeah. That is nuts.
And number 3 was Derrick Henry, because I don't think you're ever going to guess that one. I think that was just on name alone, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry has not had a great year.
I think he retires after this year. What do you think?
I think he goes somewhere else after this year.
You think so? I don't know if he's got much time left, man. He's either going to retire this year or next year, 1 and 2.
Listen,
if he has a good year next year. I think
we all know who the starter. Well, you probably don't know the number 2 starter in the AFC.
I want to go Keenan Allen for number 1.
Keenan Allen is on there, but not a starter.
Is he number 2?
He's number 3. He's number 3.
He's no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So AFC number 1 has got to be Tyreek Hill.
I was about to say you shouldn't even think about that one. That should just be immediate.
Number 2, that is kind of tricky though. Number 2 in the AFC, who would that be?
Listen, think comeback player. Think doing great stuff. Come on.
No way. Odell Beckham?
No, not Odell.
I was going to say, they put him in there on name because he was hurt.
You know, playing, I mean, he's not really a comeback. He's not hurt. Wasn't hurt. But he's made a big shining this year. You know, he used to be a star receiver. Came back to become another star receiver this year.
Oh, I feel like I should know this one too.
You really should, man. We talked about him about last week, I think. Last week or 2 weeks ago. Had a huge game.
No kidding. Oh, you got Stephon Diggs too.
He, you know, not even on there.
No kidding.
Not even on there. But since you don't know, I'll give you a hint. Joey Flacco's throwing to him.
Oh,
Amari Cooper is the second starter.
Yeah. 200 yards. You know, he's already broke his career record in
I'm
receiving
telling
yards.
you,
We did
man.
just
Talk
talk
about a
about him. You're
comeback
right.
playing, man. He's coming back strong.
Nice. Where's Ahmad St. Brown? Did he make it?
Oh, let's go. We got to go to the NFC on that one. Let's see.
Let's go to the NFC. Check it out. Did he make it?
NFC, he did not make it.
No way, dude. That is
Did not make
nuts.
it, man.
You got to be kidding me. Debo Samuel make it?
No, he did not.
Good, because he missed a couple of games. And St. Brown should have made it, man. Who did? String off the list here. You got C.D. Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb's number one.
Yeah.
I'm
Who's
going to
number
start from the
two?
bottom going up. We're going to go with Puka. Puka is
Puka
number 4.
He should have been
Mike
number
Evans,
3.
number 3.
Mike Evans should have been number 2.
A.J. Brown, number 2.
A.J. Brown should have been like 3 or 4, man. He should have been, because Puka
Puka had
and
a great year.
I'm telling you, man, and Mike Evans has had a phenomenal year.
Yeah,
Even, his bang he's been.
No, I agree with that. I would agree with that.
Who's the tight ends? Who you got for tight ends? Give us both of them.
Tight ends, you got for the NFC, the starter, George Kittle.
Okay.
And Sam Laporta.
I like Laporta.
AFC.
Let's
go to AFC.
I'm not sure why Kittle made it. His stats. No.
He's had a dude. Yeah, you keep saying that he's had a great year. Come on, don't.
He's had a mediocre year.
Go look at his stats. Go look at his stats and tell me that he had a mediocre year. Get out of here. I think you're out of your mind. I don't think you've looked at his stats actually. His stats are actually sneakily good. I'm just saying. Let's see. Tight end for the AFC. Of course, we all know the number one. It's that Taylor Swift boyfriend,
Kelsey.
Travis Kelce?
I'll name too.
Give me the number 2. Who do you think the number 2 is?
In the AFC, man, everybody's gone down.
Think about it.
Hurt.
Let me tell you something, man. You know this guy. He is like one of the best weapons on his team. And we talked about him again. We talked about him a couple weeks ago.
That wouldn't be Freiermuth then.
And again, guess who he's getting thrown to by?
Shit, I'm drawing a blank.
David Njoku, man.
Oh, Njoku, that's right.
Njoku, buddy.
At least he should harder.
Honestly, I would.
Not really.
I would agree
one
with
tight
that.
end has really shined for me.
I would agree with that this year. Listen, man, I just want you to listen to these stats from George Kittle stats.
He's got 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Big deal. Big deal.
What do you want from the guy?
Big deal. Look at
what do you want from the guy?
He's in. I mean, he's got 65 grabs. I mean,
exactly. What do you want from the guy, man? What do you want from him? Like, my God.
I get it. But when you got an offense like that, you should be wide open. You know what I mean? So 65 grabs is not good enough. A guy like that should have 80 grabs a year. You know what I mean?
But name another tight end that deserves to go above him.
Not in the NFC, I can't.
Exactly.
You're right. You're right.
The only one that you may put there is TJ
Sam
Hawkinson, but he was hurt.
But Sam Laporta, he's come on strong here lately, but the NFC, he really doesn't have a whole lot of competition. Now, if New Orleans would have used Jimmy Graham correctly all year, he could have been in competition. You know what I mean? Because that guy was phenomenal.
You're going years back now. Oh, no. Jimmy Graham has been in the league for like 20 years, it feels like.
Not only that, even Waller never even had a shot in New York. That was just all wasted there. I mean, there was a lot of indifferences this year that really took a turn. The only thing that was really steady are those guys that you're talking
about. No, I agree, man. Listen, so why we got these Pro Bowlers up? Give me your MVP for the year. We got to talk about it. We've thrown out our names. This is going to be our last name drop right here, right now. Give me your MVP of the regular season.
Well, what's going on with CMC? That's the question right there. That's if
he's not playing this week.
Yeah, if he would have come back and he would have played this week, then it would have been. Even then, he's still in that mix. It's Lamar Jackson, CMC for me, right there. Those two right there are a neck and neck battle. Because when you're talking about the most important, most valuable player, it's not only to the team but of the whole league. That is both what these guys teams in the entire league. That's who would be taken this year. It'd be Lamar Jackson,
Lamar
just
Jackson,
because
buddy.
he
He's done it.
Francisco. He has stomped Miami. He has
Listen,
stomped the best teams in the league, and this guy's phenomenal. He's having a really good year.
I'm telling
I
you,
could say
man.
the same thing for CMC. If he don't get hurt this last game, we're not having this conversation.
Well, I think this conversation gets even more intense. If CMC would play this week and have a big game, this because CMC has done crazy things for his offense, and that whole 49ers team is run through CMC.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's
100%.
And I think he would have played if they had to play. I'm going to be honest. I think they're sitting him because they know they're like, hey, this game doesn't mean anything to us. Let's not risk anything. We'll just go on and we'll keep playing. Because they clinched the number 1 seed because guess what happened to Philadelphia?
They lost.
They got beat by Arizona.
They lost. And I said that was a possibility that Arizona had the tools to beat them. I said Connor and Murray, they had a big shot to beat them. They had to, but I didn't say they would. I still said Philadelphia. I thought some way they always pulled it out from the defensive side, and somehow they was going to work out a score and win that game. But that didn't happen. That was a big deal.
True.
That even slid Dallas in there to even take the division. You know what I mean? That become a little bit hairy there for Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is kind of falling apart right in front of our eyes.
Dude, I called this a couple weeks ago. If you remember right, I called a couple weeks ago that Philadelphia there's a blueprint out there now how to beat them.
Well, as far as
and you kept telling me no.
A staple base on where their weaknesses are. Yeah, the same thing happened to Boston the other day in the NBA when Shea Gilgeous and crew disposed their weaknesses, and NBA teams has been taking advantage of that. So I think like that do happen, even though you're the greatest team. When you got so many great minds studying you week after week,
sooner or later you're going to get figured out.
One of them is going to figure out that week. That team, and they're going to expose it, and they're going to do it over and over again, and that's what's happening with Philadelphia.
Okay, why we're here though on the NFL? Why we're here talking about them falling apart? I have my little sheet. Oh, where'd my thing go? It fell down. I forgot that's one of the things that fell down. We gotta pull this up here, but I want you to tell me. I got a list here of teams. I got a little picture board here for you. What team needs the most help next year? All right, are you ready?
Next year. We're talking NFL?
Give me your top 3. This is NFL, buddy.
Okay, top 3 NFL.
Top 3. What you got?
You top 3?
Yeah. Give me 3 teams that really need the most help on this list right here. You got your list here. Come on, what you got?
Well, I'm looking here. You got the Washington Commanders. They're on the verge of getting their Washington Redskins names back.
Exactly, and I'm keeping it.
They are
that's the only team that I will ever know.
Now, when you say
the Commanders,
when you say the most help, you're talking about in dire need of some kind of turnaround.
In dire need of something change, a big change, a coaching change. Something that needs to happen.
Well, that's if number 1 for me is the New York Giants. That's one of them right there.
Giants. All right.
Yeah, the New York Giants is number 1 for me. They got to figure it out. They can't figure it out. Their coaching. I don't know if that little bald-headed feller knows what he's doing or not, but they need to figure that out.
I like it.
Hey, hold your sign up a little bit higher there for me. Okay, the next for me is going to be the obviously the all the way over there. They fired their head coach already. The Chargers.
Chargers going off.
I wanted to say San Diego. That's what I was struggling with. I'm sorry. Los Angeles Chargers, they need to figure it out. Get them a head coach, because if they get them the right head coach, the Chargers could be absolutely dangerous.
That's very good point. Very good point. What's your last team,
The next one is going to be the Raiders for me. The Raiders. They can't figure out
Raiders?
they can't figure out what the heck they want to do. No, okay. As far as their quarterback, they get rid of Carr, they get Garoppolo, they bench him, they have Aiden O'Connor, they bring him in. Running backs, they just can't figure it out. I think they are also one team, one head coach away from being a very, very competitive team because they have the tools in place to do it, or maybe it's that offensive minded coach they need because they have a dynamic offense. And I think even Aiden O'Connell looks good. He showed flashes, tremendous flashes, even in his rookie year this year. With the right quarterback coach, he could be good in a couple of years. But if they make a move and get a quarterback in there, and I'm not saying draft, I'm saying a veteran quarterback, not like a Joey Flacco or something like that. Somebody, prize pick that they can get.
Listen, man, you bring Joe Flacco in right now, I would bring him in.
Yeah, and maybe that's even an option for him too. For like Aiden O'Connell, because that's the one thing that he's going to need is a mentor. I think Matt Stafford is up for a contract next year also. Yeah. So they could chase a guy like him, and he needs a mentor. He needs a good quarterback to show him the ways. Even if he's starting, he still needs to practice day in, day out with a veteran-minded quarterback that knows the ins and outs and has been successful doing it.
Oh, I respect that. I really do. I think you're right about that, and I think that would really help him. Now, according to the Giants, I don't know if they're a head coach away. I think they need a lot more than a head coach because I'm sorry,
Danny Dimes
is not the quarterback for you guys.
That's sorry. What I said. That's my first, man. That's my first one because you're getting your all-star. Yeah. You're getting your all-star running back banged up. This is an all-pro running back, and you're getting him killed because that's the only thing you can do is run the football. Now your whole offensive line is gone. You're on your third quarterback now. This is not working out for you guys.
I agree. They got a lot of work to do. Their whole offensive line needs to be redone. Let's be honest. Now the Chargers one, I can agree. They have Justin Herbert. They have Mike Williams. They have all these players they have that could be great players and should be great players, but they're not.
But they're always losing by 3. For some reason,
they're losing games that they should never be losing in.
Yeah, they're always losing by 3. They're losing by 2. Losing by a touchdown. It's getting mind-numbing watching this prolific offense go up and down this field, score,
it and losing it.
And charging it and losing it at the end of the game. And now they have Khalil Mack. He led the league in. They had a good defense going and everything. They got a couple of injuries, late and I think that had a lot to do with the coaching. They did the right thing, get rid of the coach, but they got to find that guy. That's my question to you, Marshentime. Who is the right guy for the charging to stop, man? Who is the right guy for you?
If I was them, I would try to go and find me an offensive mastermind like a Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
His offensive, Brandon Staley was just so bad. He made stupid mistakes the whole time. And people are going to make mistakes even if they're young, but you need an offensive mastermind with the offensive pieces you have around. You have the defensive pieces as well. Hire that offensive mastermind. Let him go hire his defensive coordinator and let them build this team. Let them change the motto of this team and let them change the whole blueprint. Because this team has the pieces.
They do.
They just have to put it together. They got to have someone to put all this stuff together. And hey, Bill Belichick may be out of New England and, they're looking for somebody. Maybe Bill Belichick can come down and maybe put some pieces together. But
that's a good point. That's a good point. I think he's like pushing 75, 77 years old, something like that. But that's a good point. He could go over to the Chargers and change things around over there. But here's another big name that everybody's been throwing out there, and he's just hired now. My sources say, Marshentime, my sources say he has just hired a agent now that is the same.
Oh my God! No,
that just
flag. I ran out of flags. I don't have anything to throw.
That just got another head coach $100 million a year.
Stop right there. He's not leaving. Get out of here. We're not going to Jim Harbaugh.
They're saying
BS.
that Jim Harbaugh could be a candidate,
We're
man.
not
Do you
doing
believe
this.
it?
Stop
That
it
could
right
be
there.
the perfect
We're
situation
stopping
for it.
right there, man. No, it's not. No, it's not happening. I just don't. Listen, man. He already tried it once. He's not going to try it again. I'm sorry. He's not coming back to the NFL.
Yeah, that was kind of weird what happened in San Francisco the last time
He's
he
not
was
coming
there.
back. So no,
Yeah,
we're not doing it. We're not even talking about it. Not happening. Not happening.
that was kind of weird the way that fell apart because it was a winning team for 4 seasons, and
What?
then all of a sudden he just left.
Yeah.
And it was like weird. There was no explanation or nothing. And then he gets a job in Michigan and nobody's talking about it anymore. So that was a very, very odd situation. We never got the inside of that job of what happened.
Listen, I just got to throw my stop sign. I'm happy. I don't care anymore.
I
don't know where my flags went though. Too. My flags
they
went pretty
absolutely
far.
they had a juggernaut of a team there in San
They did.
Francisco when he was there, man. Much credit to him and his NFL style. A lot of the NFL and college style don't intertwine, but his is able to do so. Nick Saban, no, not as good as Jim Harbaugh.
Not at
but Jim
all.
Harbaugh was able to do that, and that's pretty impressive when you can do that.
Okay. Before we move on to the NBA, we got to talk some NBA. We got to talk, some baseball stuff. We got to talk about our picks, man, for the week. These are some important games. I picked the most important games, and I put them up here on our board of picks this week. So, we're going to start right off the bat with the Steelers at the Ravens. But the Ravens have already clinched, so this may be a huge deal.
That's why I said I would probably take the Steelers with any kind of points in a parlay this week, or even possibly to win. Even if Pickett comes back, I don't know if his shoulder injury or whatever he's got going on is better, but I do think that they could win that game if Baltimore sits their starters. Now, if they don't, I don't think Steelers have a chance to even beating Baltimore. Not even in the first half. Even if they sit them in the second half, their defense alone could beat them.
So you're telling me? So who are you picking, man?
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh just on the whim that
Pittsburgh Steelers.
That whim that Baltimore's going to sit all their starters. Why would they risk their MVP?
Listen, I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. How they've been playing in that defense.
Not really.
Their defense is good, man. I mean, even without Minka Fitzpatrick, that's
TJ Watt's banged up too.
Yeah, he is. But I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens just because they're at home and they look unstoppable. I think Tyler Huntley could do the same thing Lamar Jackson's doing. So you know what?
Cool.
I'm going to take your picture off here and go be like, haha, bye-bye. Ravens win this game, man. Now, moving on to the next game. Just saying.
Houston, who you taking?
Houston at Indianapolis. Listen, this game, this is actually the most exciting game I think it's going to be of the week. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a fiery game because, whoever wins this game has a very good chance of winning the division. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I am going to go with the rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud.
Uh-oh.
And I love him, man. I mean, he's made a believer out of me. I think he's going to win the game.
I think he's going to
C.J. Stroud, the Texans, win the game. Jonathan Taylor's going to have a tough time sledding against Houston's defense, who's been a little bit sneaky against the run. They've been really good against the run. So, if Jonathan Taylor has a high, over under of yards, I take the under. I'm just saying, if he goes over like 90 yards, I'm taking the under.
Yeah, even if they put him at like 75 or 80.
That gets close then. That gets close,
Yeah, Houston's got a really stout run defense, and that's one thing they haven't allowed teams to do all year. That's one reason why C.J. Stroud's in a shootout a lot, because they can't stop the pass very well neither. That's one thing Gardner Minshew is able to do. He could throw the football a little bit, and he could run the football. So this game could be a shootout too. But I'm with you on this, and I'm going to take C.J. Stroud to go ahead and Stroud it, like I said earlier on in the podcast. I think in the last 5 minutes of the game, he's going to win it for him, man.
5 minutes of the game? All right. You think it's going to be a close game then, just like I feel like? I like it.
Oh, this is a showdown.
Listen, we got to talk about another division game. Big one. Atlanta going to New Orleans. Where do you see this game going?
This is a huge one. This is a huge one, man. And it looked like last week when it looked like at Derek Carr and his offensive line started to click a little bit. He found a little bit more wide receivers. Kamara got the carries a couple more times. This is a very tough one too because Atlanta actually fired up a little bit on offense too. They was able to move the ball,
They
get a
did.
little bit of rhythm going, and their defense looked much better last week too. They were able to hold the offense, to a minimum, just like New Orleans. They had a couple of big turnovers. Pick six, I believe, was one of them. I'm going to go New Orleans at home to win this game, to get the ground game going and be able to manage that football and not turn the football over. The key here is Derek Carr turning the football over.
And you're saying he's not going to turn the ball over? We're talking
I'm
about
going to
Derek
say he's going
Carr.
to manage it.
We're talking
I'm
about
saying they're
Derek
going to run the
Carr.
football. They're going to manage it because that's what it's going to take for championship football. You got a defense, got to establish the run game and manage the football.
I'm sorry, bud. Not so fast again. Not so fast. Atlanta, you have figured out to use your number one picks. Use Bijan Robinson. He is a beast. Give him the ball, please.
This whole game is a hope.
I'm sick and tired of it. When you give him the ball, you win. Give him the ball. New Orleans defense is, not is a shell of what it was because their injuries have kind of mounted up. I'm going to be honest. Their defense is still good.
But Atlanta's defense has been pretty good, on defense in the last 3 weeks, man.
Yeah, but they were playing. Let's be honest, they were playing Baker Mayfield too. So let's not get too confident here.
It's a good offense too. Running back White, that's a good. That's an understatement.
Baker Mayfield throws interceptions.
That's a division rivalry too. So
man, I'm seeing Atlanta pick off, Derek Carr a couple times, and I think that's going to be the difference. You brought it in, and I really think it's going to be the opposite. I think Derek Carr's going to make the mistakes, and it's going to be, giving Atlanta good field position. And they're going to use Bijan Robinson. Please use Bijan Robinson. Or
there's no way that Ritter goes through this game without turning it over.
I see Ritter turning the ball over. I see him turning the ball over too. But I see Derek Carr making a bigger mistake.
New Orleans defense is very stingy.
So is Atlanta's though, man. Atlanta's been
score
pretty good
touchdowns.
Lately, so.
They don't score touchdowns like that.
I'm giving it to Atlanta. I'm taking Atlanta. Going to New Orleans. But they're not winning the division because Buccaneers are still going to win the division. So neither of these teams make it the playoffs.
So is Trevor, I like that. I like that call, and it's a very good point that you make there because Tampa Bay is going to win that division. They are going to win that division. Jaguars, Tennessee. Is Trevor Lawrence actually going to play this game? What's going on with him, Marshentime?
I haven't heard, man. They've been kind of hesitant on what they're saying. Every single time they say he's going to play, he gets hurt in the middle of the game. It seems like.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
It's scary for what they're doing. They're risking their quarterback of the future to this, and I'm a little worried about him, man. I mean, it's a little scary. So
to you, it's not worth risking your quarterback to make the playoffs.
Listen, man, you may make the playoffs 1 year, but if he gets hurt seriously, you're risking the playoffs for 5 or 6 years in a row.
Possibly even the whole future. Maybe he doesn't come back.
Exactly. I would be cautious. I would be very cautious on what happens. Tennessee's not the greatest team. They've struggled. They've won games they shouldn't have. They beat Miami in Miami, coming back from 14 points in like 3 minutes down. They can put up points, if they get DeAndre Hopkins involved and everything else. The only thing Tennessee has going for them is Jacksonville's pass defense has been horrible. Jacksonville's pass defense is one of the bottom 5 in the league.
Absolutely atrocious.
So I'm going to be honest. If I had DeAndre Hopkins, I would go over on his yards, whatever his yards are. I'd probably go over. And he also needs, I think it said 76 or 69 yards for another $1 million incentive.
Oh, no kidding.
He's going to want that, man. If you want to bet, go get DeAndre Hopkins, man. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Watch his over and under be about 69 yards, too.
I'm picking over. I'm taking the over. I'm taking it. Listen, against the Jaguars pass defense, I'm telling you, man, you got to give him the ball. You got to get this man his money. He came to Tennessee. Give him his money. Get that guy his money. telling you.
Well, you already know that quarterback was his name,
They
Drew
know
Lock
it.
or
They know it.
Tyler Lock.
Will Levis.
Will Levis, that's right. You already know he can get him the football because after his first game as a quarterback, he threw 3 touchdowns to DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a pretty big deal. You already know he'll get him the football this game because D Hop ain't gonna let him not get him the
He
football to
wants
get
them.
that
He wants that
69
money, man.
yard.
You know that extra $1
Yeah,
million
straight
sounds
up.
pretty good.
You
Just
dang right.
saying.
They're gonna get him that money, man. They're gonna get it to him. I remember watching a video of Gronk and Tom Brady. Gronk needed one more catch to go over an incentive for
And Tom Brady
receptions
stayed in
on
the
the
game to get
year.
in that ball. Yep.
And Tom Brady stayed in the game just to get him that ball, and they were all chanting for it. Gronk,
Yeah.
Gronk,
I
Gronk.
remember that.
And
I remember that.
he got
Brady's like,
that
I
was
got
huge.
you.
So
I got you. I'm staying.
yeah,
I got you.
he's like, no, I got you. I'm going in. I got you. I got you. So that was pretty cool to watch. And I think the same thing's going to happen this one. D Hop is going to get his yards. And Lawrence, I don't know if he's going to play. It's up in the air. They were crazy if they do play him. I don't think he plays. I think Tennessee beats the Jacksonville Jaguars and helps Houston's case.
Listen, I still think Jacksonville's going to win. I liked Bethman, how he came in against Cincinnati. He played really well. I think Jacksonville just has a little too much, man. They still have Travis Etienne, who's, statistically been a great running back. He's the running back 2 in fantasy this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to give it to Jacksonville still. They still have the weapons. They still have Calvin Ridley on the outside. They still have Travis Etienne. I got to give it to Jacksonville. I mean, D-Hop's going to have a decent game, but Derrick Henry's just been – he's old, I think. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
King Henry, don't take this wrong. You're still one of the greatest running backs of all time.
He's worn out.
You're worn out. You've been carrying this team for too long. That's what it amounts to. You need to go find a team that has another running back to help you out a little bit, bud.
I think you're right when you go to the passing game in this game, and I think Mike Vrabel will have that defense ready for ETN because it's going to become a one-dimensional offense unless that quarterback that you're talking about just shines and does a really good deal.
They're pretty good against Cincinnati,
shut down
man.
ETN. So as long as they do that, but Cincinnati's defense is not as good as Tennessee's. Tennessee's offense
hasn't been that good. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, their offense just make their defense look bad. It's another one of those teams. Their offense, just kind of turns the ball over a lot and gets a lot of pressure on their defense. But this is also a division matchup too, and Tennessee is going to be looking to spoil some hopes at home. So this could be a barn burner at home. I'm still going with Tennessee.
Okay, I like Moving on to the next game, man. Another division game. Green Bay's looking to get in the playoffs. Chicago's looking to say, no, sir. Yep. And you know what? One of the hottest teams in the NFL the last couple of weeks has been the Justin Field-led Chicago Bears. Do you see Chicago winning this game?
I think this could be a very, very, very close game because Love has been playing absolutely phenomenal too. He's had flashes to where
Field, though, man.
And Justin Fields, yeah, and he's even got his lead wide receiver all in for them to keep him around and spend draft picks. And
they have the number one overall pick, man.
They have the number 1 overall pick, so that's a big deal. If you keep Fields around, you bring in a huge running back, or you build around that defense, bring in a good tight end. Even though I think Cole Kmet is a good tight end, they just don't use him enough. That's just. They bring in a complimentary wide receiver on the other side, somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr. Wow, this offense could get explosive. So, listen, I agree with him.
Right here, right now, though. Donnie Mack, the GM. You have the number 1 overall pick. Do you trade it and get more picks? Do you keep him? Do you keep Justin Fields? Or do you trade down. Do you get a quarterback?
Yeah, I trade down in this draft.
So you're keeping Justin Fields.
I keep Justin Fields. Okay. I get
you heard it from Donnie Mack, the GM, guys.
I get another first-round pick out of this deal. I'm going to pick, later on in the draft where I can get that stud wide receiver or that stud defensive line or that stud, interior linebacker or that wide receiver, as I said. And I would just build around this kid because even at the beginning of this year when he popped off and he started going off in the first 3 games of the year when I believe they were 3-0, we were looking at this guy and we're saying, man, Fields is looking good. Then all of a sudden it just fell apart and then there was GM problems and miscommunication.
He got hurt and everything.
Whatever. But now we're back at that point. We're playing professional football again, and Chicago Bears are looking really good as they're doing.
So give me your pick, though.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go Jordan Love at this one at
Jordan
home.
Love.
He's been pretty good at this time of year. It's going to be some bad weather. It's going to be some cold weather. We're going to see a couple of Lambeau Leafs, but this is going to be more like your 21-17 or 21-20 type game.
Listen, you said what I wanted to bring in. Bad weather. What is bad weather bad for? It's for throwing the ball, right?
Yep.
Now, what does Chicago have the advantage on them, though?
They have a Aaron running Jones quarterback. Has been healthy. Yeah, well,
they have
Aaron
a
Jones
running
has been
quarterback
too.
Who has a whole new dimension to their offense. They don't need to throw the ball. Justin Fields can run for 250 yards any game he wants to, it feels like.
Yeah, you can run screens and everything. So, that's why I agree.
They can do the read option. They can do any options, man.
Well,
Justin Fields wins this game.
Jordan Love do the same thing. He can do everything Justin Fields can do.
He's not near as fast as Justin Fields. Don't even give me that. Justin Fields is faster than Lamar Jackson.
Well, he's better in the pocket. Jordan Love is a lot better in the pocket.
But that's why I'm saying nasty weather, Justin Fields wins. Yeah.
Well, that quickness could get him in trouble if he starts slipping around too. So
he could.
They'd be wise to keep him in the pocket, though. What's your last game there? You got the Dolphins?
Well, we got the Dolphins, man. The biggest game of the week. Division title on the line. The Bills coming down to Miami. Miami had some big injuries. Miami just got blown out. Buffalo just barely squeaked by a New England Patriots team who's been horrible all year.
But they looked good before that, though.
Well, they haven't. They almost lost to the Chargers, too, in the Thursday night.
They've been up and down. So, yeah.
Where do you see this game going? How do you see it going? Tyreek Hill's house caught on fire yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. He's still in a walking boot.
That's so. Well, Jalen Waddle's the walking boot.
Well, Tyreek Hill's still in a walking boot too. He's got himself in a walking boot because when they showed his house on fire there on the news, and he's standing there with his newlywed wife, he was in a walking boot also.
I didn't see that one. I didn't see
that. He's still got some ailments too, and I think that's the backbreaker for them. They're playing in Miami. That's a good deal. It's also a bad. It's also a bad deal for them. Yeah, they're 7-1 in Miami. That's a bad deal for the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to have a hard time stopping the running game of the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins going to play a little bit of defense. They did lose Chubb on the other side of the ball, but this is a
they signed Melvin Ingram too, though. Melvin Ingram's back in.
Well, I didn't know that.
Melvin Ingram's back in Miami, who had 6.5 sacks last year.
That's a good piece of information. Whether or not he'll be useful in this game, who knows? He's got to get back in the rotation.
He played a little bit last. He actually played a little bit last week, but he didn't play. He played sparingly. So
right, that's what I'm saying. He's got to get back into the feel of things too, and that'll definitely help for the bolstering of the depth of that defense. But 100%. It's a team thing, and Miami showed that all year. They've been doing team thing. When the offense couldn't score, the defense was stepping up. The Baltimore game was a little bit different. Buffalo is not Baltimore. Let's get that straight. They can't stop the running game, and Miami's good at exploiting that running game with a lot of motions. They're going to run it with the wide receivers. They're going to bring Waddle and Hill around. If both of them are managing, their injuries.
They're not sure about Waddle.
And can go. But they'll do the same thing with all the running. Both of the running backs and. Yeah, they'll do the same thing, but the main thing here is playing defense and pounding the football. You pound the football, play defense, and once in a while, you still got that MVP quarterback. He'll take that shot up top, and he'll complete it. That's going to be the backbreaker for Buffalo, especially late in this game.
Listen, there's one thing that Miami needs to do. That is have Jalen Ramsey follow Stephon Diggs. I'm just saying, man, shadow him. I understand not doing it every play, but on big plays, especially on third down, have him shadow him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have him shadow him. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
Best on best. Let him go at it. And I don't mind giving him help. But shadow him. Let Jalen Ramsey do his job. That's what you pay him the money for.
That. I'm with you on that, but you don't work Ramsey that much this late.
That's why I said on third. That's why I said on third down, on big plays. Big plays. Don't do it on first and second downs. It's not a big deal. But on third down and sixes, third down and sevens, have him shadow him, man. Have him play that. Because trust me, Jalen Ramsey wants that. He's come out and said it. He's like, hey, man, I'm the best still. Put me on the best. I got this.
That's what you're supposed to say too, as being the best on the team. So I agree with you that even when it gets in crunch time at the end of the game,
100%.
that's when you go. If you
Yep.
have to go first, second, and third down, that's when you go. Man, the game's on the line, man. That's what it is about right there.
Listen, and that's it's not going to be hot for Buffalo. That's the only good thing for him. It's not going to be a hot day. It's going to be Sunday night, and it's going to be a close game. I think Josh Allen makes a mistake at the end and throws the costly interception at the end of the game for the Dolphins to win this game and win the AFC East. First time since 2008. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, you know what? And I called that, through week 8, and I said that this was going to be a big deal for this defense coming together. What I did,
you even called it that it was going to be the last week that they're going to win the division. You've called this like the beginning of the year.
Happen. And when they win this game, that's what they're going to do, is going to solidify that. What I didn't know is the kind of ailments that the Miami Dolphins have, because that passing game is a huge deal for them. But it's the next man up. Tua is going to show that this week. It's going to be the next man up. Don't believe they haven't been practicing that all week. They know what they got to do. McDaniel's going to be ready for this one. This is one of the biggest games of his coaching career right here. Just as you said, for the first time since 2008, McDaniel's is going to have these boys ready to go in Miami.
If they win this game out of this, I'm sending you the crown, because you have called this since the beginning. I'm sending you the crown, man, if this happens. You called it since the beginning. I will send it to you, and I will give it to you, man.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
If you were right on that, I will be. Hey, you've called it since the beginning.
Mozart and Achan is going to shine. Tua is going to take over late in this game.
You have been saying this since the beginning of the year that, hey, this is going to be the last game of the year. They're going to come down. They're going to see who wins, and Miami's going to win the division from it. So I'll give you credit, man. It's kind of cool how you called it.
And it's played out just like that. Even if they don't win, it's pretty good to see a matchup like this late in the season, because Miami's still going to make the playoffs. They are still going to be a team to be reckoned with, and whoever's got to play them, I feel sorry for them, because 100%. They got a lot of running to do in the first round.
That is very true. It's very true. We talked to our NFL. We got to talk about a little basketball, man. We got to talk some basketball, We haven't talked a lot today. We got to talk about what is happening to the Lakers.
Yeah, they're completely falling apart after that in-season tournament. Yeah, after that in-season tournament, Darvin Ham, he can't get a shake on the starting lineup now. We've seen probably 19 different starting rotations since the beginning of the year. LeBron James has been dealing with ailments and injuries. Anthony Davis is the only steady piece that I see, him and Austin Reeves, that I've seen on that team all year. And if they were smart, they would do something at this trade deadline before October and get, or I don't know what I mean by October, sorry, before the beginning of February, get a trade going on and get some money back for Austin Reeves, a guy like that, or even, a Prince, Torian Prince. A couple of these valuable pieces that other teams could actually use on the stretch, just like New York did. I don't know what's going on with the Lakers. I don't know if they're just old, they're worn out. They need a head coach. Also, what's going on? Because LeBron James in that tournament looked like he was in all-star form in his 21st season in the NBA. It's not looking like that right now.
That is very true.
He has had a couple of games where he looked good. He played, what was it, last night against the Heat. The Heat pretty much pummeled him.
Yeah.
And the
without
Heat,
Jimmy Butler.
Without Jimmy Butler also. They pretty much pummeled him, but he was dealing with an illness. Anthony Davis looked good, but I mean, Miami Heat, that's not knocking them at all, because they've got a couple of young guys that are really, really playing well right now, and they deserve some recognition out of that game too. But the Lakers, I don't know what's going on, man. They need a different coach. Doing
all the Miami Heat players
can
get awarded except for freaking Kane. I put him in my fantasy lineup, and then he doesn't even play. I was like, what just happened? You've been playing 15 minutes like the last 3 games, and then you come out with a goose egg? What did you do to piss off Eric Spoelstra?
I was going to say he didn't get any love at all. They started Jokic, the other guard, and I saw that. I started him in my lineup, and I almost took Kane. I was like, you know what? If he's going to start,
you would have took Kane because you would have lost.
Yeah. Yeah, because I only beat you by like 8 or 9
You
points.
beat
So it
me
wasn't
by
very
8
much at all.
points, and I had a 0. I had a 0, guys, and I still almost beat him. And our other buddy, man, he didn't do very
It
well at
just
all.
tanked.
We
But
I had to give him some crap about that today. So
that's not as good as me beating you guys by 30 and 40 points with a 0 from a guy
I
too.
don't know
So
I don't know what he's talking
that
about. That never
that
happened.
that
That
was
never
a
happened.
total
Listen,
accident there
listen,
too.
listen, buddy.
What happened to
Tonight it's just me and you. So
what happened to Alkaline Battery though? Yeah, what happened to
I don't
him?
know.
I
He
did,
never. He probably just never paid attention. Let's be honest. He's a little slow sometimes. So.
yeah, he didn't get into our
You know,
contest there.
it's all right.
So
It's me and you, man. I'm gonna beat you tonight, so I can keep my crown. Now it's just me. If I knew it was just me and you, I would have definitely tried a little harder. I would have known I would have won.
oh, there you go, there you go. I hear you now. I hear you. Don't worry, I'll turn around and give you
Listen,
another
man.
shot tomorrow, man.
Listen, man. Listen. You went Damian Lillard and Giannis.
Yeah.
I went Jamal Murray and Jokic.
Okay. I like the
So
combo. I
it's
like
gonna
the
be
combos.
interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. I was thinking the same thing too, and I took another lineup today in daily fantasy basketball, and I took Joker, but I did not take Jamal. I took the Joker, and I think I took Steph Curry. That's who I took. I
Well, I
teamed
have Steph
them
Curry
two
too,
up.
bud.
Yeah.
And I have Victor.
Oh, you went with Wembanyama, huh? Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
injuries there. Hopefully, he gets some playing time. They've had him on a minute count. He's been on
they
26,
have.
24 minute count. But even then, he's scoring 60 fantasy points, even in
Yeah, I'm hoping.
24,
I'm hoping just
25
for
minutes.
40 for him. I'm hoping for 40. Then I'll be happy. But
Well,
we'll
it's
go with it.
it's definitely going to be a shootout. Like I said, anybody betting the parlays on that game, take the over on that San Antonio or on that Golden State game. Golden State
That's
and
huge.
Denver.
Golden State Denver is going to be a great game. I'm
Yeah,
excited
take
to
the
watch it.
over.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm ready to watch that game.
I'm ready to. I don't know if I can stick it out. I think it's on relatively late tonight.
Yeah, you're an old guy, so I understand. Donnie Mac,
I'm
is
gonna
there
try.
anything else you want to talk about, man? We talked about our basketball now. We talked about our fantasy. We got to, we didn't talk about our fantasy team a little bit. We're
No, we
losing in the
didn't.
championship round.
We
We had
are.
a huge injury. We had CMC, of course, go out. That hurt us big time.
That's
Keen Allen, of
unfortunate.
course, hurt.
Yep.
So we're struggling a little bit. Two of our top players are out right now. We're down by 30, but we still got a chance. You never know.
We
Our
do.
players
We
may
got
come
one
back.
more week to go. We got one more week to go, and you never know what can happen in that week.
Of course,
Uh,
we've
we
scored. We've scored
obviously,
170 in this league. We can score. We can score very big.
yeah, we could take off. We could take off and score a lot of points. You get a big game from I'm gonna say Brown. You get two that goes off against Buffalo, and bam, that's all we needed right there. So
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of things could
exactly what we need.
happen. Not only that, are we going to start New Orleans defense? We're going to start Miami's defense. Whose defense are we starting
Listen, I think
here?
we got to go New Orleans. They're playing Atlanta.
I think so
I'm
too.
sure Desmond Ritter will throw an interception or two.
Hey, we
We got
get
to
a
throw.
couple of
We got
touchdowns
to have
from
the
them
Saints
too,
in.
man. We could be in there. We could be in
That's
the
true.
car,
That's
man,
true.
on our way to a championship. So we're in the Super Bowl, Marshentime, 863 Sports Buzz
Listen,
Podcast. We
we're
drafted
in the
that
Super Bowl.
live
We are
right
in. We
here
did.
on
We
our
drafted it.
podcast.
Yeah.
So you can go back and watch us or look at our live
Listen,
tabs
guys,
on our
and I
page
just
on
want you to
YouTube.
know, I argued with this guy for. I mean, it was all day. We argued back and forth on who we were taking the number one overall pick, and I
We sure
finally
did.
convinced him to take CMC.
Yep.
He is the one who carried us into the Super Bowl. We're in the Super Bowl because of CMC.
Well,
Thank
if
you
you
very
watch
much.
that draft, if you go back and watch that draft, I still was indecisive
He was
even when
very
we
you
launched.
still did you didn't want it. You
You
didn't want
said
it.
you said who do you want? And I said let's go with Eckler. So you was clicking and I said hold on, don't go Eckler, hold on. I said maybe we should go CMC. And you said man, I'm leaving this one up to you. So we went CMC.
I let you make the
We're in
final
the
decision.
championship, right? Because if we would have went Eckler, we wouldn't be having.
we wouldn't be halfway in this. We'd be out of it by now.
Yes, we would.
Listen, but hey, Lamar Jackson actually just got ruled out for Sunday game, so Lamar Jackson will now be playing against Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep. So that's a big deal right there. That's a big deal for the Steelers. That's a big deal for a lot of things. That's a big deal for us because it makes our decision a lot easier for Miami Dolphins.
Tua, go ahead, start.
You know what I mean? For Miami Dolphins, Tua is going to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns against the Buffalo Bills. I changed my whole analysis. Tua Tagovailoa is going to have a record-breaking week against Buffalo at home this week.
Well, I'm going to be honest though. The only bad part about that is he has Tyreek Hill on his team.
And Tyreek Hill will not play.
Let's be a little cautious here, Let's be a little cautious.
Yeah, so we want to be careful on that one. That's it. That's all I got for you, Marshentime, man. Go ahead and sign us off out of here. I got nothing else. I got nothing else to talk about, brother. We'll meet back here Monday night.
We'll meet back here Monday night, guys. We're going to be talking NCAA college football championship game, Michigan, Washington. Come back.
Yes,
check us out. That's Donnie Mac. I'm Marshentime. This is 863 Sports Buzz.